So that's the snowiest 24 hours in Canada, but the world record could have been beat yesterday. 200 centimeters in 18 hours. We'll tell you where that is in the program. Snow shortage, where will it all go? And warm trend into March break. It's looking really nice for some of us across the country. Now, taking a look right now, you can see a system in the United States. It will bring a bit of cloud cover to places like Windsor, Sarnia, London today. But other than that, the moisture is staying down south. We do have a little bit of a rain-snow mix sort of around the Nickel Belt. And the Maritime Province is clear right now, but as we take you to Newfoundland, there is a snowfall warning in place. Corner Brook is included, Stephenville as well. This is through tomorrow. 10 to 20 centimeters is on the way. Now, as we take you towards the north, Iqaluit, as well as Pond Inlet, in an extreme cold warning. Pond Inlet right now feels like minus 51 with the wind chill. Minus 51, so that's within a few minutes you can get frostbite. There are fog advisories in place through parts of BC this morning that will mix out into the afternoon. Taking you to Halifax, so a nice gradual increase in temperatures. This morning, though, Halifax is -5, Montreal's -2. Some light snow in Quebec over towards Val-d'Or, but by the afternoon in Val-d'Or, that will change to a rain-snow mix. All right, well, we have a little bit of snow today in the Maritime Provinces, very light in nature, but temperatures on the rise, and yes, spring is just around the corner. And there's a little bit of rain in the southern prairies at this point, so some signs of spring. So do be careful out there. We've got a snowfall warning in place, though, for Newfoundland. This is for tonight into tomorrow morning. We're seeing the snow pick up in Corner Brook and Stephenville. 10 to 20 centimeters is possible for you. We've got some westerly winds today across Atlantic Canada. A little bit of snow for the Maritimes this morning, but again, not big totals. And then for tomorrow, there's that system moving into Newfoundland. It also does bring some showers into parts of Nova Scotia as well as New Brunswick. So the snowfall forecast is heaviest in white here for anywhere that's staying below the freezing mark. So that's 10 to 20 centimeters, as I mentioned. But the Avalon seeing less. That's because you're going to see snow changing over to rain. So the southern Avalon gets 10 to 20 millimeters of rain. So that's tomorrow into your Thursday morning. Take a look at this. And they were relating that to what happened in Boston. So in 18 hours in Italy there, they saw what Boston saw in January and February. All right, so Monday, downtown Toronto, 6.6 degrees, Pearson, 5.6. It was lovely. There was the sun as well. Beautiful day. A little bit more cloud cover coming in this afternoon with a system down south. And there is a bit of a rain-snow mix around the Nickel Belt and through Cottage Country right now, popping up in the pink. Could be some patchy freezing rain at times, but overall, not a lot of moisture out there. This afternoon, Toronto forecast high is 7 degrees, Ottawa 8 degrees. Quite a bit of sunshine, especially as you head north, but yeah, towards the south, a little bit more cloud cover. And this afternoon in the north, Thunder Bay, 8 degrees. Good morning. Hopefully everyone's adjusting to the time change. I found it harder to wake up today than yesterday. But a look back at Monday, I know, it was hard. Monday's highs, Calgary stands out at 17 degrees, but on the other hand, we've got Iqaluit at -29 yesterday.
Yes, 0 yesterday in Halifax, today 3 degrees, and tomorrow 6. So I like the trend that's happening in the east, but still very cold across Newfoundland. St. John's just -7 today. And there's going to be some snow coming for tomorrow. But for now, what a beautiful spring day in Montreal, 6 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud.
And there is some snow moving through the Maritime Provinces through to Thursday morning. Western shores of Newfoundland, snowfall warning for you. Corner Brook, you're included. That's 10 to 20 centimeters. But note a little bit less for the Avalon, a little bit less for the Maritimes, and that's because, Chris, we're getting some mixing and we're getting some rain.
That's right. Your warmest day of the week will be tomorrow in the Maritimes and even across St. John's, getting up to about 4 degrees tomorrow. So snow to start, then to rain, and by Thursday morning, it'll likely go back to some snow showers. Colder winds will blow in.
Let's take you to our must-see video.
From 12 to 30 people in that place. Unreal.
They even threw a party. And here's the thing. Boston is a few centimeters off their all-time record. They're getting snow this weekend. So we'll give you the latest next week on if they break that big record.
You better believe it. And by the way, coming up in Force of Nature, we'll be talking about the snow in Italy. Some places saw in 18 hours more snow than Boston seen in January and February. Unbelievable. All right, so there's your warm front. Give you an idea. Thunder Bay, 8 degrees today. Timmins, snow's changing to rain. Southern Ontario, dry conditions. Temperatures right along the lake shores. On Lake Ontario, for example, a little cooler than a little away from the lake because of the lake breeze. But what a beautiful spring day.
Yeah, we're seeing those aquas and those yellows, which we haven't seen in a while. We're taking you back to December 27th, which is the last time Toronto and Hamilton were close to 7 degrees. And today's forecast, 9 and 7. And we take a look at this. Halifax, your highest ever was 27 degrees. Not quite getting there, but this week it could get up to 7.
We wouldn't want to see 20+ degree temperatures in the Maritimes, though. That rapid melt would be too much.
Thanks for joining us. Meteorologist Nicole Karkic with you. Our developing stories. The world record for snow could have been beat last week. We'll tell you where they saw 200 centimeters in 18 hours. And snow storage, where will it all go, especially in the east? And warm trend into March break. It's March break this week for BC. You've been warm this winter, but the trend is continuing to get warm this week across the country and into next week being March break for many other areas across the country. We'll take a look at your long range. Looking at the cloud tops, there's a system stateside here, a Gulf low that will bring a bit of cloud cover towards places like Windsor, Sarnia, London, even Toronto today. And there's some light snow flurries across the maritime provinces at this point, which isn't bringing too much snow, but there is just a bit of cloud cover around New Brunswick. Fog advisories in place, Campbell River, Powell River included. So this morning, a little bit dense to start off your day. And it is cold. Iqaluit as well as Pond Inlet in an extreme cold warning. Pond Inlet feels like minus 51 this morning. So the cold air is in northern Canada. It's in Labrador and Newfoundland as well. And there is a snowfall warning that was just issued this morning about an hour ago for Corner Brook, Stephenville, 10 to 20 centimeters of snow beginning tonight. So through to tomorrow, it is going to be messy across Newfoundland. Now this morning, St. John's is minus 11, Sherbrooke's minus 4, Montreal, you're minus 2. Some lighter jackets again today with Halifax getting up to 3 degrees, and then you get even warmer into tomorrow. But that light snow today will bring about under 2 centimeters really across the east. But this is what's coming for us tonight. The 10 to 20 centimeters around the western shores of Newfoundland and a little bit less towards areas like the Avalon because you're getting some rain as well. St. John's will transition into about 10 millimeters of rain tomorrow. And our snowfall amounts so far, Charlottetown 407 centimeters from November to March 5th. Let's go to Ontario now where Kelly Noseworthy is joining us with details on how snow is going to cause a problem for us this spring. All right, we just can't seem to hear Kelly at this point, so we'll get back to her. She's going to talk about flood concerns in southern Ontario and what the cities are doing to prevent it being a big issue. Now, this morning, Toronto around the freezing mark is seeing some sunshine to start the day. Kingston minus 4, Ottawa minus 3, a little bit of fog in Pembroke to start the day, and the mild air in the north as well. Now, Marathon is showing a chance of some rain-snow mix, even some patchy freezing rain. The freezing rain is not very widespread and it's not very persistent, but you could see it in northern Ontario today. So quite mild. There's that rain-snow mix in places like the Nickel Belt. Geraldton, snow changing over to a bit of rain. Even Val-d'Or have a chance of seeing some rain this evening, and then that system makes its way into Newfoundland. It's time for Share Your Weather. What's that? Well, people are sending me photos on Twitter at my account, at Nicole Karkic, using the hashtag Share Your Weather, and then one person gets selected each day to get a personalized forecast. So we're showing your picture today. Kim sent this to me this week. She said, we made these great packing snow in London, Ontario. That's a great shot. You know, you need a lot of moisture in the environment to have some good packing snow. When it's dry and cold, it's not the best. But today, the snow will be melting for you, Kim. It's 8 in London for the high. We've got some southwest winds sustained at 20 kilometers an hour. And the 7-day forecast even has some rain for Saturday. Not a lot of rain, but just indicative of the mild air coming through. And temperatures are going to be nice and seasonal as we head into next week as well. Mild air in Ontario today. We've got mild air in parts of the maritime provinces as well. Newfoundland, however, through to Wednesday, there is a system bringing places like Corner Brook 10 to 20 centimeters of snowfall. There's a snowfall warning in place there. Our must-see video takes us to Boston. All right, looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Kelly. And of course, the concern is not just in Ontario for the melt. We've got concerns across the prairies as well as Atlantic Canada this year. Now, this afternoon, Calgary, 13 degrees. Vancouver getting up to 14. BC, you've got March break, so 14 degrees, some nice weather for a staycation. We've got Ottawa sitting at 8 degrees this afternoon. Halifax 3. St. John's will be minus 7, which is some of the coldest air in the country, which is centered in Newfoundland and Labrador. Now, this morning, we've got some light blues popping up on this map. As as you start to see the aquas and the yellows, that's conditions above the freezing mark, and we're getting that today. And notice the nice southwesterly wind that happens through the afternoon, which continues into tomorrow as well. This afternoon, 7 degrees in Toronto, 8 in London, North Bay 5. A little bit of cloud cover, yes, around Windsor and London, just with the system stateside. That could just draw up a little bit of cloud cover for us as we travel towards the east. There's some light snow in New Brunswick this morning. That will taper off through the day, but this is the system to watch moving through Labrador and Newfoundland, where there is a snowfall warning in place for the western shores of Newfoundland. Now, speaking of snow, we'll have more on that in Force of Nature Extended. Right now, look at the snowfall warning for you in the east. And now here's Nathan Coleman in the east on how people are dealing with the weather. Happy Tuesday. Glad you could join us. The world record for snow, big question mark. Who saw 20 centimeters in 18 hours? We'll tell you. And snow storage, where will it go? And warm trend into March break.
All right, well, we're going to start off with some cloud tops here, show you the systems. One thing is that, Nicole, most of the cold air is pushed up towards the north, but still in Newfoundland and Labrador as well. St. John's has been in the minus teens this morning, Deer Lake in the minus 20s.
Yes, ouch. And this system stateside will bring a bit of cloud cover in towards Windsor, Sarnia, London as well, even Toronto this afternoon.
Let's run you through the watches this morning from Environment Canada Fog Advisory. East Vancouver Island, Sunshine Coast, Gulf Islands, that's for this morning, dense fog. Very, very cold at Callowheat, feeling in the minus 50s this morning. Clyde River Pond Inlet, Hall Beach, you're under extreme cold. And finally, we've got the snowfall warnings. This is really more for tomorrow. It'll likely begin the overnight of tomorrow, including Corner Brook and beautiful Gross Mourne, where we could see up to 10, even 20 centimeters.
That's right. So starting tonight and then moving across towards the Avalon, which sees less snow because you're going to get some rain, up to 10 millimeters actually for St. John's.
Look up and look out.
Yes.
You know, the ice cover on the Great Lakes down to 73.7, so we've obviously passed our peak now. Still a lot of ice out there, but the thing is that the stability of the ice is getting more and more compromised. So parents, tell your children, creeks, rivers, streams, and the like, you'll want to stay off.
Yeah, and with temperatures like this again, well above the freezing mark, Toronto 7, Ottawa 8, that's just going to help rise our temperatures. And
I do want to show you Northern Ontario. I mean, it's a heat wave, Nicole. Look at this. I was snooping around Timmins. First of all, number one, bring an umbrella today. Can't remember the last time I said that. This should be your warmest day since November 4th.
Oh, snooping around Timmins. What did you find?
Yes.
All right. That is certainly a good question. People asking that question not only in Ontario, but in Atlantic Canada. We will be addressing that in the coming days because, of course, we're seeing a bit of a melt this week. This afternoon, Calgary, 13 degrees, Toronto plus 7. Over towards St. John's, though, you're minus 7 this afternoon. The coldest air in the country really is in the north around Labrador, Newfoundland as well, and Yukon, Northwest Territories. This morning, we've got some southwest winds, which will help bring our temperatures up again above the freezing mark, so some nice yellows popping up. We really didn't see that all winter, and that will continue to be nice and warm for us into Wednesday as well. Now this afternoon there is a system stateside, which I'm wondering how people are getting around. Wow, pretty impressive. Now this afternoon Toronto will be 7, Barrie 9, up towards North Bay 5, but yeah, a bit of cloud cover in the southwest courtesy of a system stateside. And this morning, not being picked up on this movie, but there is a bit of light flurries across New Brunswick, a bit of cloud cover around Yarmouth. That will clear out through the day, but then this system comes through and brings Newfoundland quite a bit of snow, especially on the western shores where Corner Brook is included in a snowfall warning. Let's take you to this video. Snowmobiling, get it in while you can because spring is just 10 days away. Jill, thanks for sending this one in. Looks like lots of fun. I've never been snowmobiling. I really want to try it one day. Here's that snowfall warning for the western shores of Newfoundland and the snow we're going to see into Thursday. Right now, science behind the weather. Good morning, Canada. Meteorologist Nicole Karkic, Chris Murphy with you. We've got some developing stories to talk about. World record, question mark, 250 centimeters of snow in 18 hours. We'll tell you where that was.
All right.
A snow storage problem. Where will it all go? And warm trend into March break.
Yeah, and Kelly Noseworthy will be joining us in a minute or two talking about that very thing about snow storage.
Exactly.
Quick look at our cloud tops. What are we looking at here, Nicole?
We've got a big fog in southwestern Ontario and Windsor and London. And you could see some cloud cover even up up towards the Greater Toronto region this afternoon. We've got some light snow flurries mixing in with rain around the Nickel Belt, and we've seen some light snow today in the Maritime provinces.
Yeah, and into Newfoundland, you're still very, very cold this morning. Fog advisories all around the Strait of Georgia. Just checking around the Comox Valley, zero visibility, but even Vancouver, you got some poor visibility. You're not actually under the fog advisory, but locations north. Cold temperatures, again, at Iqaluit feeling close to minus 50 this morning, so extreme cold. I'm sure you have probably the taxi on speed dial these days, all towards Pond Inlet and Hall Beach. So north is 60, very cold, and certainly into Newfoundland, cold today, and then warming up tomorrow, but the price will be snow.
Yeah.
Clouds in the early days, those are those high clouds. They don't bring precipitation, but I always call them the snitching clouds. They tend to snitch on the incoming warm front. You had the snow showers last night, of course, and then in the wake of the warm front, temperatures are warming up. Look at that.
Yes.
2 in Moncton, 3 in Halifax, and you'll be even warmer tomorrow.
Yeah, in Montreal, nice day, 6 degrees, a little bit of melting happening in the city. This is the snowfall forecast. Beginning tonight, the snow in Newfoundland spreads across to the Avalon, but the Avalon has a little bit less snow because you will see about 10 millimeters of rain in St. John's, with temperatures rising tomorrow.
Sept-Îles to Chevry, most of your snow will be overnight into tomorrow, 5 to 10 centimeters. Gaspé, 2 to 4, and still keeping track of the incredible snowfall in Atlantic Canada.
All right, let's check in with Kelly Noseworthy right now, who's in Hamilton, talking about snow and the possibility of that melting and causing some problems in Ontario. All right, thanks, Kelly. At this point, Ontario's flood forecast, I looked at the website. Essex County, the only one that has an outlook at this point. There is going to be some runoff this week with the rise in temperatures. Clear those catch basins if you can.
Absolutely.
And look at this afternoon, Ottawa 8, Pembroke will be 9. We'll see the sunshine and the north, Chris.
Look at this. It's a one-day heat wave. We're calling it. Enjoy.
All right, thanks so much, Kelly. Just on the flood forecast for Ontario's website, and Essex County does have a flood outlook at this point, saying that because of the rapid rise we're seeing this week in temperatures, you want to take care of those catch basins. We could see some runoff this week. This afternoon, Toronto 7 degrees, Calgary will be plus 13, and Vancouver, for you who's doing a staycation because BC's in March break, you've got 14 degrees for that high, and we are seeing snow tomorrow in Whistler, so that'll be nice for the skiers. South winds this afternoon, turning some aquas into some yellows, and on our legend, that means temperatures above the freezing mark, which continues into tomorrow as well. But today really is going to be considered the warmest day of the week for southern Ontario, eastern Ontario, and even southern Quebec. This afternoon, look at your temperatures, and there's a bit of cloud cover moving into southwestern Ontario, just with the system stateside. Not seeing rain or snow with it, but a bit of a mess. I'm sure a lot of people don't have their snow tires on at this point. Taking a look at the east, a little bit of snow in the Maritime provinces, more snow moving into Newfoundland. Here's Nathan with how people are enjoying the weather in the east. Thanks for joining us. Nicole and Chris with you. A few top stories for you in Canada. We've got snow storage. There's a problem in the east. Warm trend into March break for some of us. And the world record. This is an international story. Big question mark. Who got 250 centimeters in 18 hours?
Unbelievable. All right, so there you go. That's, by the way, that's about 8 feet. 8 feet. All right, cloud tops right now. We got some fog patches here across coastal British Columbia. We also have, I do want to caution you, we have temperatures after some melting of the snow yesterday in parts of southern Ontario, and then overnight temperatures drop below freezing. We do have some icy patches, secondary routes, bridges, ramps, hills. Just watch out for that. Unfortunately, still very, very cold across Newfoundland in the minus 20s in the west, minus 30s in Labrador, and wind chills in the minus 50s up towards Iqaluit.
Yeah, Wabash, cold spot in Newfoundland, minus 31 right now. The Avalon Peninsula will see a bit of snow into tomorrow, but that changes over to rain. The big concern for a lot of snow is Corner Brook, Deer Lake, with a snowfall warning in place, 10 to 20 centimeters. That starts tonight. Yeah,
higher elevations, higher amounts. And look at this, we're going to see some rain showers. We may miss it in Moncton. We got a forecast of 7 degrees in Moncton tomorrow, 7 in Halifax, but you'll need the umbrellas, but it's not a big rainstorm. And then snow changing to rain across eastern Newfoundland. And then we'll go back to the colder temperatures come Thursday, Friday, so a lot of that standing water could freeze over. over again.
The spring thaw, the spring ups and downs
Oh boy.
as we get into summer.
Yes.
Through to Wednesday, we're seeing a bit of snow through the Interlake region of Manitoba, under 2 centimeters. These really aren't big amounts, and that moves into northern Ontario. At this point, there's actually a bit of rain as well around Kenora,
Yes.
Dryden, Fort Francis too.
Out of sheer habit, I was going to say it's snowing in Kenora, but no, it's raining as temperatures are mild. This is for tomorrow into Thursday
Yes.
for the lower mainland, Vancouver Island, about 15 to 30 millimeters, more for Tofino, more for Howe Sound. And it can hold a party of 12 to 30.
Oh, amazing. This afternoon, take a look at your daytime
Yes.
highs across the country. Stay with us. We've got more in your national forecast. Spring is officially 10 days away. Glad you could join us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. You've got March break in BC this week, and if you're doing a staycation, Vancouver, 14 degrees this afternoon. System moving in will also bring some snow into Whistler for tomorrow. Now, across the country, we do have a bit of rain around Kenora, Dryden. Southern Ontario has increasing cloud cover, so for Windsor, Sarnia, London, a bit of fog this morning, and that could change over to some cloud cover into the Greater Toronto region. Kelly Noseworthy joining us right now in Hamilton. Behind you, there's looking like piles of snow. Tell us more about the situation on hand as we move into spring with the melt. All right, thanks so much, Kelly. As we look at temperatures, they're on the rise this week. Certainly today should be one of the warmest days for Southern Ontario. Generally speaking, it's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7 degrees. Southwest winds helping to drive up those temperatures. There's that front that's bringing the rain showers to Geraldton over towards Timmins this afternoon. Also a chance of some mixing, but yeah, warm enough that all the way up towards Timmins and Kapuskasing, you could see rain today. This afternoon, Kingston's +5. Ottawa is 8 degrees. And as we move further east, really nice in Montreal at 6 degrees, but over towards St. John's, you're -7 for the daytime high. Usually you're +2, so definitely Newfoundland is overall below average. Oh, take it all in, the snowmobiling. Do it now while you can because things are melting in New Brunswick. Jill, thanks for sending that to our website, theweathernetwork.com. Still seeing some snow today in New Brunswick, but generally it's a light dusting. As we look towards Newfoundland, western shores under a snowfall warning for snow beginning tonight, and that will bring 10 to 20 centimeters through to Thursday morning. Flash flooding is a problem that we're going to see this spring. Here's the science behind that right now. All right, thanks so much, Kelly. All right, as we look across the country, we do have a little bit of snow in extreme northern Ontario, but otherwise, Kenora, Dryden, Fort Francis, it's rain, mild enough for that. And we'll see some rain moving into places like Val-d'Or this afternoon, too. System stateside, which has been a Gulf flow moving into Ontario, will just bring some cloud cover to Windsor, Sarnia, London. We're seeing some fog there. There's been some light snow in the maritime provinces around New Brunswick today this winter. And the big question is, will we see a nice slow melt, which will be the best ideal condition for flood concerns in New Brunswick? It's got a lot of different elevations in New Brunswick, so we're definitely going to be on flood watch into spring. Snowfall warnings are in place in Newfoundland for the western shores, Stephenville, Corner Brooks included. We've got still some extreme cold warnings in Pond Inlet as well as Iqaluit, Hall Beach as well, feeling closer to the -50s this morning. And there's a fog advisory for now Vancouver is included, Campbell River, Powell River as well, so some dense fog patches and rain moving in tomorrow for BC, but snow in places like Whistler tomorrow. Our good news is no one was hurt, but yeah, the insurance bill on that one. This morning, we've got some southwest winds across Ontario. That's going to help ride up our temperatures, getting into those yellows, which on this legend is temperatures above the freezing mark. This boundary is what's going to bring that snow and rain to northern Ontario, but generally it is rain or a rain-snow mix. This afternoon, Toronto 7 degrees, Ottawa will be 8, Pembroke will be 9, so these temperatures above average for this time of year. Haven't said that in a while. And this afternoon, Thunder Bay 8 degrees, and then look at the rain in the north, but up towards Pickle Lake, that will be some snow. Ever in 24 hours. The snowfall record before that was Japan with about 6 feet of snow. The snow we're seeing into Wednesday in Ontario in the north as well as the Prairie provinces. Stay with us. While pulling out the Eucerin in places like St. John's this afternoon, some of the coldest air in the country really is centered in Newfoundland and Labrador, -7 for the daytime high. On the other hand, we've got Vancouver at +14 and Toronto at 7 degrees. Thanks so much, Kelly. So this afternoon, more melting happening across southern Ontario. Toronto sitting at 7 degrees, Hamilton 7 degrees as well. Ottawa will be 8, Calgary 13, Vancouver 14. We've got March break in BC, but on the other hand, we do have St. John's, Newfoundland at -7. So cold air still in place for Newfoundland and Labrador. This morning, southwest winds, as you can tell by these arrows shooting up in the southwesterly flow. That's going to help ride up our temperatures into the afternoon. So probably the warmest day of the week for many areas in southern Ontario today, including places like Ottawa and Montreal. We'll see that boundary moving in some rain. This morning we've seen rain around Fort Francis, more Dryden, Kenora, so that trend will continue. We'll see a rain-snow mix, extreme northern Ontario. This afternoon, take a look at your temperatures here. A little bit of cloud cover this afternoon, Windsor towards London with the system stateside. That's not bringing us rain, just a bit of cloud cover, even towards parts of the GTA. This morning in the east, we've seen a bit of snow in the maritime provinces around New Brunswick. It's been very light in nature. It's brought a bit of clouds towards Yarmouth. And then this system will come on through. Septiel will see some snow as well as Newfoundland. So this starts off as snow for the Avalon. Do it while you can. Snow isn't going to last for very long. That was sent to us here at the Weather Network from Jill. Thanks so much for that. But there's still some snow to go this week in Newfoundland. Western shores have a snowfall warning. So tonight through tomorrow, 10 to 25 centimeters is possible. So you're in the white. Also in the white through parts of Labrador and Septiel. And we've got the Gaspé Peninsula seeing about 2 to 5 centimeters. But that snow today in the maritime provinces really tapering off. But a bit of rain as well, especially in the Avalon where St. John's could see about 10 millimeters of rain. They held a party over the weekend with about 30 people that fit in there. This Monday, we look at, or this Tuesday rather, we look back at Monday's snow on the ground. Anything covered in purple sees about 5 to 30 centimeter range on the ground. A little bit higher, of course, through the Rockies and extreme northern prairies, but not a lot in southern Alberta. Places like Calgary this year has not seen much snow. A little bit more snow to go in northern Ontario as well as the prairie provinces through to Wednesday, but there's rain moving onshore in BC tomorrow.
What do you think?
March break for a few of you across the country. BC. This afternoon, Vancouver's going to be 14 degrees. Not a bad forecast if you're doing a staycation. Calgary's 13 over towards Toronto, 7 degrees, and Halifax will be 3. But on the other hand, St. John's, Newfoundland, -7. Now a great place to visit for March break, the Bahamas. Wednesday afternoon, Nassau's getting up to 30 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. Georgetown will be 26, Freeport 30, and no rain in the forecast there either. March break for a few of you across the country. BC. This afternoon, Vancouver's going to be 14 degrees. Not a bad forecast if you're doing a staycation. Calgary's 13 over towards Toronto, 7 degrees, and Halifax will be 3. But on the other hand, St. John's, Newfoundland, -7. Now a great place to visit for March break, the Bahamas. Wednesday afternoon, Nassau's getting up to 30 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. Georgetown will be 26, Freeport 30, and no rain in the forecast there either.